Most people think paying more gets you a tougher truck, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Right now, some of the most expensive pickups on the market are basically ticking time bombs engineered to fall apart in under 5 years. They look unstoppable under the showroom lights, but once you drive them home, they turn into financial disasters waiting to happen. Today, I'm exposing the 10 trucks you'll seriously regret buying in 2026, from disappointing to downright catastrophic. And trust me, a few of these names are going to make truck owners furious. From transmissions that can shut down an entire truck overnight to engine flaws affecting more than 600,000 units, today's pickups are loaded with hidden time bombs designed to empty your savings one repair at a time. But here's the part nobody wants to hear. Some manufacturers know exactly what they're doing. These failures aren't accidents. They're baked into the design so the truck dies long before you finish paying it off. And that's why what I'm about to show you next is so important, especially if you're buying a truck in 2026. This isn't just information. It's a financial warning shot. Keep watching, because the next trucks on this list could cost you thousands before you even hit year 3. Number 10, the 2024-2025 Jeep Gladiator. At first glance, the Gladiator looks like the ultimate adventure truck, rugged, capable, and built for the wild. But beneath that tough exterior hides one of the most infamous problems in the Jeep universe: the death wobble. This isn't just a minor vibration. It's a violent shake that hits out of nowhere the moment you hit a bump at highway speeds. The steering wheel whips back and forth, the front end loses stability, and for a few terrifying seconds, you're no longer in control of your own truck. And here's the real issue. This isn't new. It's a long-standing flaw in the Wrangler-based suspension and steering geometry, a problem that should have been solved years ago but still shows up on modern models. Most Gladiator owners end up spending thousands trying to fix what the factory should have gotten right in the first place. Upgraded track bars, aftermarket stabilizers, reinforced suspension components. Not to customize the truck, but simply to make it safe on the highway. As if that weren't enough, the transmission problems push this truck even deeper down the list. Across 2021 to 2025, owners report harsh shifts, slipping gears, and situations where the truck lurches unpredictably in traffic because the transmission can't decide where it wants to be. Some describe it as driving a manual, with the truck arguing with itself. People like to say the Gladiator holds value because it only depreciates around 35% over 5 years. But that math falls apart once you include the thousands in suspension fixes and potential transmission repairs. At that point, you're not buying a durable off-roader. You're buying a long-term project that constantly demands more money just to stay drivable. Number 9, the 2020-2021 Ford F-250 and F-350 Super Duty. If you're considering a used Super Duty from these years, you're not just taking a gamble, you're stepping into a genuine safety hazard. These models were involved in one of the most alarming recalls Ford has issued in recent years. A steering column defect so severe that the upper shaft can disconnect without any warning. Picture this. You're cruising down the highway, towing a trailer, everything feels normal, and then suddenly, the steering wheel goes loose in your hands. It spins freely, and the truck is no longer responding. That's not an exaggeration. That's exactly what this flaw can cause. Ford did launch Recall 2594, but replacement parts didn't become available until early 2026, meaning thousands of these trucks spent years on public roads with a known, potentially fatal defect. And here's the real danger. If you buy one today, there's no guarantee the previous owner ever completed the recall. You could be driving a 7,000-pound time bomb that fails at 70 miles per hour. Even once the recall work is done, the financial hit is brutal. The F-250 only holds about 55% of its value after 5 years. For a truck that starts north of $72,000, that's more than $32,000 evaporating. Gone. And remember, this is supposed to be a long-lasting workhorse, not a depreciating liability. Put it all together: the life-threatening defect, the massive resale drop, the uncertainty of whether recall repairs were ever completed. And these specific model years become one of the worst investments you can make. Even if you need the towing power, the risk simply isn't worth it. Number 8. The 2025 Ram 1500 equipped with the brand new Hurricane engine. Ram made a bold move this year. They retired the legendary Hemi V8 and swapped it for a fresh, twin-turbo inline-six that nobody has long-term data on. And that's where the danger begins. First-generation engines, especially high-output turbo units, are notorious for hidden problems that don't surface until years later. By the time the Hurricane's real weaknesses show up, you've already dropped 50 grand on a truck that's using you as the test subject. There's no proof these turbos will survive past 100,000 miles. There's no guarantee the cooling system won't develop premature failures. There's no record of how the software behaves under heavy towing or extreme heat. Ram is asking buyers to trust an engine that has zero real-world history, while charging full price for the privilege. And the frustrating part? The old Hemi V8 was proven, predictable, and steadily getting better. But with Hurricane, Ram reset the reliability clock back to year zero. You're buying based on Ram's past reputation, but receiving a powertrain that hasn't earned that trust. And the regret hits hard when the warranty ends right as the major issues begin. A brand new, complex design means costly repairs, long service times, and mechanics still learning how to troubleshoot this engine. And if the Hurricane follows the same pattern as other rushed turbo powertrains, 2025 owners could be staring at catastrophic failures between 60,000 and 80,000 miles, completely out of warranty, while the truck has already lost nearly 40% of its value. In other words, you're buying a truck that might look futuristic today, but could turn into a financial disaster tomorrow. And if the Hurricane follows the same pattern as other rushed turbo powertrains, 2025 owners could be staring at catastrophic failures between 60,000 and 80,000 miles, completely out of warranty, while the truck has already lost nearly 40% of its value. In other words, you're buying a truck that might look futuristic today, but could turn into a financial disaster tomorrow. The heart of the issue is Toyota's new turbocharged iForce engine paired with the 8-speed automatic transmission. Owners are already reporting harsh shifts, delayed gear engagement, stumbles during acceleration. Exactly the kind of problems Toyota buyers never expect to deal with. And remember, Toyota has already released technical service bulletins for similar transmission issues on early 2024 models. That means these aren't random glitches, they're baked-in problems the factory hasn't solved. Then you get to the electronics, and it's chaos. Multiple system warnings lighting up at the same time. Drive start control errors, brake malfunctions, random electrical bugs, infotainment lockups, connectivity features that simply stop working. This is a brand new truck that behaves like it skipped half its software testing. The painful irony? People pay extra for a Tacoma specifically to avoid this kind of nonsense. A Tacoma costs thousands more than a Ranger or Colorado because it's supposed to be the buy once, drive forever truck. Instead, 2025 buyers are paying the Toyota premium for a first-generation platform that's stumbling out of the gate. And the long-term risk is even worse. Resale value. Tacomas traditionally keep their value better than almost anything on the road. But if these powertrain and electrical issues don't get resolved, the market will react fast. Used buyers will avoid these years, trade-in values will fall, and the Tacoma's decade-long reputation could take a massive hit. Buying a 2025 Tacoma isn't just a gamble. It means going against everything Toyota's reliability history was supposed to guarantee. Number 6. The 2024-2025 Chevrolet Colorado and GMC Canyon. These two are basically twins. Same parts, same assembly line. Unfortunately, the same disastrous reliability issues. GMC is sitting at 20th out of 22 brands overall. Both trucks have earned a reputation as some of the least dependable vehicles you can buy heading into 2026. The electrical failures alone are enough to take these trucks off your shopping list. Owners are reporting everything from faulty side sensors and broken blind spot monitoring to complete instrument cluster blackouts. Infotainment systems crash. power windows and doors stop working with no explanation. And in some cases, the entire truck bricks itself, won't start, won't shift, completely dead, because a bargain bin sensor decided to quit. But here's where things get dangerous. More than 55,000 units were recalled because the front camera module misread the road and triggered automatic emergency braking at highway speeds. Imagine driving 60 mph when your truck slams the brakes to the floor for absolutely no reason. The car behind you doesn't stand a chance. A software bug turns into a full-speed rear-end collision. And it gets worse. Owners report LED headlights that flicker or shut off entirely while driving at night. One minute you're on a dark road, the next, your entire world goes black because your headlights decided to take a break. It's not just unsafe, it's terrifying. The saddest part? The 2.7-litre turbo engine is actually solid. The powertrain could have been a winner if the truck around it wasn't falling apart electronically. But none of that matters when a $12 sensor locks up your entire vehicle, or when the emergency braking system tries to kill you. This is the new reality of modern trucks. We've moved from mechanical failures to electronic failures. And electronic failures are worse. At least mechanical issues can be diagnosed and repaired. With these trucks, you're at the mercy of technicians trying to track down which of the 100 different modules is malfunctioning today. And before we jump into the top 5 trucks that will destroy your budget, and possibly your sanity, make sure you're subscribed. We uncover the biggest lies and hidden defects in the auto industry so you don't throw your money away on vehicles built to fail. Hit that subscribe button now. Number 5. The 2025 Ram 1500, equipped with the optional 4-corner active air suspension. On paper, it sounds like a luxury dream. Automatic ride height, better handling, improved towing posture. But once you live with it, that dream turns into one of the most infuriating features Ram has ever sold. This system has been failing across multiple model years. Ram still hasn't addressed the underlying engineering flaws. The issues follow a predictable pattern. The compressor starts making ugly grinding noises as moisture corrodes the internal components. Then air springs begin to leak, so the truck sags on one side like it's injured. Eventually, the automatic leveling system quits entirely, freezing the truck at one height and making it nearly undrivable. And the moment cold weather hits, the whole system can shut down, leaving you with no proper suspension and a truck that rides like it's broken. But the real punch to the gut is the cost. When the air suspension fails, you can't simply replace one part. Everything is tied together: the compressor, the springs, the sensors, the control module. A single repair can easily cost thousands of dollars. And these aren't one-time failures. You replace the compressor, then the springs go. Fix the springs, and the control module dies. It's a never-ending cycle of expensive repairs. Many owners eventually give up and convert the entire system to traditional coil springs and shocks. But here's the painful irony. You spent thousands to add air suspension. And now you're spending thousands more to remove it and install a conventional setup that actually works. You're paying twice. Once for a premium feature, and again to get rid of it. Number 4. The 2024-2025 Nissan Titan and Titan XD. Let's be brutally honest. The Titan isn't just a weak contender in the full-size truck segment. It's a financial sinkhole disguised as a pickup. In terms of resale value, it is the absolute worst performer in its class, bleeding between 48% and 58% of its value in just 5 years. That's not normal depreciation. That's financial devastation. A typical mid-trim Titan buyer loses over $25,000 in equity within half a decade. Half the truck's worth, gone. No other full-size truck drains your net worth faster simply by sitting in your driveway. And here's why the drop is so brutal. The Titan never earned real market relevance. Ford, Chevy, Ram, Toyota, they've locked down the segment for years. Meanwhile, the Titan sits off to the side, unnoticed and unwanted. Fleet buyers won't touch it. Contractors won't touch it. Families who want a dependable daily truck look the other way. The used market has flat out abandoned the Titan. So when you try to trade it in, every dealer knows they'll be stuck with it for months, They lowball you hard because they can, and because they know the demand simply isn't there. And the pain doesn't stop at depreciation. The Titan brings a list of recurring reliability headaches. Fuel system issues that cause rough running and terrible economy. Early electronic failures that cost a fortune to repair. Transmission problems eerily similar to the issues plaguing other Nissan models. None of these problems are apocalyptic on their own, but together they make ownership a constant drain. On your wallet and your patience. Add in Nissan's limited dealer network and slower parts availability, and even basic repairs take longer and cost more than they should. Now picture this nightmare scenario, because it's happening to real owners. You buy a Titan for $50,000. 5 years later, you go to trade it in, and the dealer offers you $21,000. But you still owe $28,000 on your loan. You're $7,000 upside down, meaning you have to bring cash just to escape the truck. And if you can't, that negative equity gets rolled straight into your next loan, trapping you in an endless cycle of bad debt and worse terms. That's not owning a truck. That's walking into a financial ambush. What makes all of this unforgivable is that the Titan offers zero upside to balance out the risk. It's not significantly cheaper than rivals. It doesn't tow more. It doesn't have better features. It's not more reliable. There is no logical reason to buy one, unless you enjoy throwing money into a bonfire. For anyone looking at 2026 trucks, choosing a Nissan Titan is basically guaranteeing regret and setting yourself up for long-term financial damage. Number 3, the 2021-2024 GMC Sierra 1500 and Chevrolet Silverado 1500 equipped with the 6.2-litre V8. On paper, this engine looks like the dream setup for anyone who wants real GM muscle, big displacement, big power, and that classic American V8 soundtrack. But behind the marketing, these engines are hiding one of the most serious mechanical failures we've seen in modern trucks. Nearly 600,000 units have been swept up in an NHTSA recall linked to manufacturing flaws in critical rotating components, the connecting rods and the crankshaft. These aren't small issues you can ignore. These are core pieces of the engine, and when they fail, the entire power plant can detonate without warning. Here's what owners have been experiencing. You're cruising down the freeway. Everything feels fine. Then suddenly a loud knocking starts. Oil pressure plummets. Seconds later, the engine locks up solid. That's a spun bearing, a broken rod, and your engine has just turned into a giant, extremely expensive paperweight. Even under warranty, you're staring at weeks of downtime. Out of warranty, you're looking at $15,000 to $20,000 for an engine replacement or full rebuild. It's catastrophic on every level. And GM's official fix hardly inspires confidence. If your truck passes the initial inspection, they simply switch to a thicker oil, give you a new oil cap, and update the owner's manual. That's their solution for a structural machining defect in the heart of the engine. It's like using a Band-Aid to fix a broken bone. The deeper issue is that these engines were built with tolerances far too tight for the original oil spec. That means internal parts are grinding against each other with inadequate lubrication, accelerating wear, overheating components, and eventually causing total failure. And keep in mind, even before this massive recall, the 6.2-litre was already known for its own set of nightmares. Lifter failures, ticking noises, knocking sounds, and heavy oil consumption. Most of those problems trace back to the active fuel management system, which was supposed to improve MPG but ended up shortening engine life. Pair that with the co-developed 10-speed automatic transmission, notorious for harsh shifts and delayed engagement, and what you have is a powertrain that's under stress from every angle. The real sting comes from the fact that buyers pay extra for the 6.2-litre. People choose it expecting the strongest, most capable engine GM offers. But instead of a dependable workhorse, they're getting a motor with known structural flaws, one that could blow itself apart the moment the warranty runs out. And that anxiety never goes away. Every rattle, every tick, every moment of hesitation makes owners wonder, is today the day my engine gives up? When it's time to sell, informed buyers avoid 6.2-litre models entirely, driving resale values down even further. You pay a premium to get the engine, and you pay again when the market punishes you for owning it. Number 2. The 2021-2024 Ford F-150 Power Boost Hybrid. The F-150 may be America's top-selling vehicle, but the hybrid version is one of the biggest reliability disasters Ford has ever launched. And that's not hyperbole. For 3 straight years, the Power Boost has scored the lowest predicted reliability rating in its entire class. Not below average, not concerning, the absolute worst. Real owners are confirming that rating with nightmare-level stories. Constant mechanical failures, sky-high repair bills, and trucks spending weeks, sometimes months, parked at dealerships instead of being on the road. And it all stems from one brutal truth. Ford took a platform already known for trouble and made it exponentially more complicated. The 10-speed automatic in the regular F-150 already has a lengthy record of harsh shifting, early wear, and outright failure. Now imagine adding an electric motor, a high-voltage battery, complex hybrid control software, multiple cooling systems, and integrated electronics that must synchronize perfectly. When any of these pieces malfunction, even a single sensor, the entire powertrain collapses. The truck becomes completely undrivable. Owners are reporting electrical issues that technicians can't even trace. Random check engine codes no one can diagnose. Batteries dying overnight for no reason. Hybrid components like EGR coolers failing repeatedly. Software glitches that cause unpredictable surges, hesitation, or lurching during acceleration. These aren't little quirks you can shrug off. These are core system failures that turn the truck into dead weight. The downtime is shocking. One documented case shows a 2021 Power Boost spending 10% of its entire life inside a service bay over a 30-month span. That's more than 3 full months of ownership where the truck was broken, undrivable, and sitting at the dealer. And that same owner needed a full transmission replacement plus major hybrid system repairs, all supposedly covered under warranty, but still costing them rental fees, lost time, and endless frustration. That's not transportation. That's a reliability nightmare wrapped in a $70,000 price tag.